Been trying to meet you.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
Like that new intro.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man.
What happened? Wait, Toby, you changed again.
Yeah, I turned into my arch nemesis Russ.
Oh man, it's a pretty good likeness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up with that horror movie? Like,
yeah, you're like flickering and stuff. Oh, is that Corn?
Yeah.
Nice.
Just watching Corn videos on repeat.
Freak on a Leash, or what is it? Yeah.
Nice.
All right, is that better?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. Toby's sick. And Jim, you're also sick.
Yeah, I've slept most of the day, but I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna get through this.
So I just want to point out that on Saturday, you and Toby decided to do the polar bear plunge, and maybe that was a bad idea.
No, thank you.
Well, I was on a cruise ship all last week with next week's guest, so
that's true.
As far as I know,
true.
he's okay.
And he's always sick. Just kidding. I don't really know. But Toby's out. Hope he's getting better or whatever. He'll be back next week. Hopefully. It's Christmas next week. We are going to do a Christmas episode.
Yeah, I'll be calling in from Missouri.
It's a very, very elegant state.
I don't know where I'm going to be podcasting yet. I could be in their laundry room for all I know. We'll see.
I had a Zoom conference, or it wasn't Zoom, it was a GoToMeeting conference once, like many years ago, with a student, and he went to his closet. He was like a 50-year-old student, but he was sitting in the closet under all these weird he was wearing not wearing dresses, but they were like on top of him. Like, I have a screenshot somewhere of this.
Yeah.
It was like the weirdest thing. It was like 2012, 13. It was many years ago. I'm not sure that he knew that there was a camera on him. But so
thank God that's all he was doing.
Exactly. So I don't know that he was married, and I don't know why he had dresses, but that's a whole nother. It's another podcast.
That's his own business.
Yeah. So Jim, make sure you notice your surroundings before you podcast in a random room.
Oh yeah. We'll have to see where I go. Don't know yet.
Could be a dinosaur behind you, but
everybody, if you're new here, welcome. But we would like you to like and subscribe. We'd love to have you back with us every week. I know, Rob, you have that banner. There it is. Also, if you're interested, we have new merch up.
Merch.
This. We're trying to meet you. The shirt.
The shirt.
And
the official
several
shirt.
variations. So, and all the other podcasts are represented there too.
And you just go to deathstep.click. And yes, .click is a website.
Oh man, we got all kinds of death steps.
Yeah.
And, there's all clicking. Right. And what if they want to be a guest on the show, Jim?
Oh, if you want to be a guest on the show, go to beentryingtosignup.com and pick a date, and you'll be here with us, just like this.
And it's awesome. And
it's great.
Out. Yeah, it's all the fun on the internet, live on the internet, and all the podcast places. So Toby's not here. Russ, are you going to do the honors and introduce our guest?
I will. Oh, let me guess, Rob. It's another person you know. It's probably a guy. You probably know him for like 30 years or something. Am I right?
You're pretty close.
This is pretty good.
Yeah, I just met this guy about 5 minutes ago.
This is very accurate.
Everybody, Lance Smith.
There we go. All right.
Yeah, that was good. Like, not only is Toby doing an excellent impersonation of Russ, Russ can do an excellent impersonation of Toby.
Wow. That's the hard part, is being Toby doing Russ doing Toby.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Well, Lance, welcome.
Hello.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on, man.
Yeah. Lance, we go back like a long time. I was trying to figure it out. I think we've known each other pretty much like forever, but like we started hanging out probably when I was like around 15. It was before I could drive. I remember that. So that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Because I remember driving around with you in the F100.
Whoa.
Was it 100?
Ah, still love that truck to this day. Yeah, it was the F1. It was I call it the Uncle Jesse's stunt double truck
Very accurate.
from the Dukes of Hazzard. You know.
Nice.
It
I
was
thought
great,
you were
right?
saying Uncle Jesse from the
Full
other
House?
show. Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
I didn't even think that there were multiple
That's how I know
Uncle
you're
Jessies
fucking.
until just
Like
now.
you're still 13 years old, man. Like what's going on?
It's
Yeah.
always Uncle Jesse.
I was thinking Dukes of Hazzard. I was thinking
Dukes
Dukes
of
of
Hazzard.
Hazard the whole time.
Yeah, well, Jim, that's a problem, Jim.
I grew up on the West Coast. I don't know.
Oh, you
So
didn't
did
watch
I.
Dukes of Hazzard on the West
I
Coast?
did. Yeah, we did.
Oh yeah, it was around. Yeah.
He was.
What was it?
were you
banned
born
Yeah, but he
from
was
our
like
house
3.
because of the
He had
Confederate
no
flag.
idea.
So, Lance, tell us a little bit about what you do in your life now. Because you,
Okay,
you went a big undertaking. So, talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Long story short, I was in the restaurant industry for years, like almost probably, 25, almost 30 years. And long story short, I wound up back in Clarksville and was trying to find jobs here that obviously were subpar, and it really pissed me off. And I really hated cooking and where I was and the restaurant I was in, and I was like, fuck this, I quit. And then I was like, well, I only know 2 things, and it's music and skateboarding. And I was like, well, yeah, fuck it, I'll make a skateboard shop, because it was like it's like peanut butter chocolate and stuff. So I kind of had met some people, some younger skaters here and there, before I started this. And, they were all like, hey, the skate park sucks. Like, our fucking Zoomy sucks. Like, we need our own skate shop. So I was like, oh, the fuck else am I going to do? So I started a skate shop. That's the condensed story. Yeah.
Nice. No, that's awesome. I'm trying to think. Like, Clarksville never. I mean, they had skate shops pop up, but mainly it was, the Bastard Corner and the bike shops. Van camps, and then what was the one on the Bicycle Center? It was on Madison Street. Also had the little tiny skate shop too.
Yeah. I think it's a hard thing to do in Clarksville. Skateboarding is one of those things. It's like you're not gonna buy a skateboard every week, So it's kind of like,
if you're really bad, you might. If you're really bad and you're
well,
rich,
if you're really really good, then you're gonna I need a fresh deck like every week.
Right.
Which it's
I
kind of
used to be like
cool
that
because
back in the day.
Russ, you were getting new decks every week, or were you stealing?
Bro, I would focus on my deck. If I couldn't get a fucking trick after so many times, I would just focus that deck and just crack it in the middle. But I would always order the blank decks from like the online, like California Cheapskates. I would get their blank decks, and I would get like 2 or 3 at a time. They're like $30 or something, Put your call them up, tell them you want the 3 slick decks that come that are blank, and you got your COD waiting for you at the front door for the UPS.
COD days.
But yeah, I regret that now though, because that's a lot of money wasted just focusing decks in the middle.
I know a guy who can buy a deck, and you don't have to order online. You just go downtown.
Oh, cool. You know what's it called?
It's Clockwork Custom Skates, obviously.
So how long?
I think I know that guy.
So how long have you been in business?
Well, technically, so I did about like a month and a half, just kind of like of a soft open. And then I guess it was like around the very beginning of November, I did my like kind of like hard open outlets because I'm doing this all DIY.
Okay.
So I let the local skaters figure out about it. I did very small kind of, Instagram, Facebook kind of stuff. I didn't go to Chamber of Commerce or try to do anything like that because that's not my group. My group is, going to be younger skateboarders that want a skate shop. I met a couple of them and just kind of let them do, all the promotions that they want because I'm like, well, if you want a skate shop, like prove it, and they've done a lot for the shop, and that was like my main focus was, like I had said before, like I want this to be like it's more like their shop, and I'm just a facilitator, I was like, okay, tell me what you want, tell me the boards you want, the trucks, the wheel, whatever, and like let me get it in for you, and then we kind of all meet here, kind of thing, and so yeah.
That's cool. Nice. And you're putting you put a team together, right? Or you're slowly putting a team together. Is that?
Yeah. And it's almost there. I got 5 guys on right now. They're super great. They're super awesome. All of them, I mean, they're great skaters. And the great thing about them, and even as a team, they're all individually different. I got guys that, are really, really good technical skaters. I got guys that just go fucking super big, on gaps and shit, and so yeah, like I'm really stoked about the team that I'm building and just to see how they're building the team for themselves. And like they're all self-motivated, they all are getting together and like they meet up, at least 2 to 3 times a week here at the shop. And then they'll go skate, like Springfield or Hoptown or, one of the other parks in Nashville. So I'm really proud, and they're doing really good at like taking a lot of footage. So I'm trying to, I tell them to take as much footage as possible. Yeah, send it to me. I try to edit as best as I can. And because I'm still getting used to that, and like give them like a cool soundtrack to go over it and stuff like that. So yeah,
nice. That's awesome, man. That's like the dream. You've come full circle because I definitely remember watching skate videos in your basement, VHS, and just sitting around just watching them eating stale Doritos and pizza and all the fun things. So that was that was definitely highlights of adolescence. So that's very cool that you're kind of giving it back and making it way cooler for some other skaters that opportunity that we didn't have. So
yeah. So is there a skate park in Clarksville?
Well, it was a Death Trap.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, technically.
Is it,
so
is
yes,
we open?
We do. Well, parts of it are.
Okay.
Parts of it are closed off. But we're about to get a brand new skate park here. It's by New Line Skates. I've been to a couple of the town hall meetings they had with it. They're super, super fucking cool guys. Like these are actually skaters that design skate parks.
Oh, cool.
And the guys that did show up had a lot of play in like how it's going to be designed and stuff. So hopefully this time around, we'll actually like luck out. That first one that they did was as much as we wanted to have a skate park.
That was not it.
It was unskateable. And you're like, oh, I think my joke is like they built it to make sure that we all died at some point.
So do you know the story behind how that was built? At least this is my estimation.
Well, I have my theories, and I don't know if you want to hear mine or do you want to go first?
I mean, I had heard this from someone. It's basically they opened it up to bids, and they got basically 3 bids, and 2 of the bids were for actual skate parks from people who could build skate parks, like an actual skate park building company. And then we got one bid from a local gentleman who owns a concrete company.
Yep.
And he decided
Yeah,
to do it for like $60,000 less.
Yep.
And he
that's
basically
that was
watched some videos.
that was
with
cousin
some
Larry and
Yeah.
his brother Daryl and his other brother Daryl.
Jim, they had a half
I
pipe.
was like, hey man, I put in concrete steps at my grandma's house.
The whole thing's concrete. The half pipe, I never saw the half pipe open. I feel like it was only open for like 3 months, and like somebody broke their neck, and then they just fucking put a bunch of dirt in it or something, like rocks and dirt.
Yeah,
And they just,
yeah. I think I was, well, when it first opened, I want to say that I was the first person. I did not drop in on that fucker. It was crazy. Just
was
because
it just
it was
like super steep?
No,
and
not
the
only it was like
pitch was
5
like-
foot of dirt, but then it concaved in.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
okay.
I'm like, dude,
Physics
surfers
don't allow
don't
for
even
that.
skate waves like that,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And I tried to push it. I think I touched the lip once, and then, but what they had done is they had put this fuck off like paint on everything. So like they had like a quarter pipe section and everything else. But even if you like landed a trick, the concrete was so slick, you like you could never stick anything. You're like, yeah. So it's like, I'm pretty sure they built it to kill every skateboarder. Now
And
we
so
can
it's still just sitting around right now.
destroy it and build more soccer parks. The skaters are gone finally.
that's probably what they're gonna do. So where's the new one going?
So but actually, it's like it's out in New Providence. It's from my shop. It's only about like 5 minutes, but you got to cross the bridge, like going towards New Providence. They call it Bel Air now.
Okay,
That
yeah, I
sounds
remember where the
fancy.
Bel Air pool was.
That's where it is, Rob.
Well, so that's what they did. So
Okay.
Yeah.
but they had to close that pool once again because there's a sinkhole and the pool cracked. So now they're like, we'll give it back to the skateboarders. And I'm like, man, what, really?
You know, I say that's really shitty, but at the same time, like, at least they're getting something, because
Well,
otherwise they probably wouldn't give anything. I don't know.
No, yeah. But I think it's like I said, I've been pretty involved with it.
Cool.
And everyone, so I feel like I've had a pretty good say in it, and all my guys that come in, all the skaters that come in, like I give them, hey, you go check this out. You know, this is a park and recs thing. I was like, say what you like, what you don't like, kind of stuff. So,
Good.
I think it's going to be a huge difference and something that they can actually, really, really be a part of.
That's cool. I'm glad that Clarksville's at least getting a little more progressive. I mean, there's like 100. How many people are in that town now? Like 160,000, something like that.
Yeah. I think almost I think it's almost 180.
180.
Well, it also depends on like, with Fort Campbell, like you
Right.
know, like how many trips are, it was, so it fluctuates like all the time. But I mean, if there was going to be a steady, yeah, I mean, because it's completely different. But I mean, if you had a steady number, you just might as well like round it off to like, and then just because of friends, family, and it's just a transient town. People come here for like a little bit and they leave. And,
That's what happened to Jimi Hendrix.
Hey, he's from here. Well, technically, he was. He was
really?
Here. Yeah,
When he was in the army, he was stationed there.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
he
okay.
he bought a guitar where I bought my first saxophone. And like, I think I bought a guitar there, and they had the bill of sale for his like guitar.
At the front page.
Was it? It ended up there after the tornado? Is that right?
Oh, I don't know. I just know it was in there.
Yeah. But the tornado took that down, and then like the family took the business over, moved it into like a house, and then
I saw.
it was kind of set up for a while, and then I went like I wasn't really living in town like after that, but come back and I tried to come back because I was gonna go visit them, and they were like gone. I was like, well, and I know for a fact they had like all this badass vintage stuff, dude, like from drum sets to amps. I mean, you're talking about like vintage stuff from like the late 60s, early 70s, amps and everything. And dude, I got like this fuck off Baldwin amp. It was crazy. But I got it for like, I don't know, like $150. But I mean, if I had still had it today, I mean, it'd be like, oh, it's vintage. It was vintage back then, but yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing the house. I remember just seeing like driving on, was that Crossland? And you would just see like the neon sign that said Collins Music Store.
Yeah,
like,
it's like, yeah,
in the back of a house, and you're like, I don't know how to get over there. And is it somebody just find the sign? Is always how I looked at it. So I never went when they moved.
I bought a they had a stockpile of vintage Wurlitzer studio pianos.
Holy
electric
shit.
pianos.
Those are rad.
And I bought one. So what they were like basically like keyboards, but they're set up to be like slaved into each other.
Uh-huh.
So like so the teacher would have one piano, and then on the front of the classroom would be this big keyboard. So if you hit a note, it would light up.
Okay.
But you could. So what I wound up doing was running them through like all my guitar effects pedals and through another amp, and I was like, oh, I'm like new Radiohead. Check me out. I couldn't play piano for shit, but it was cool as shit. But they were actually working, and it was cool because it's like they had like this one part like you could slide out, like it was a desk, so you could take notes and stuff.
Oh, that's
cool. I used it for an ashtray and where I kept my beer. Like, this is fun.
You got to make practical decisions, Lance. I mean, that makes sense. I went to grad school at University of South Florida. That's where Jim and I met many, many years ago. And when we were down there, so the building that the art department was in, half of it was art and then half of it was music. And it looked like an old motel, like a Florida motel. It was like all the doors are outside. I mean, that's kind of how that building was set up in Florida. But while we were there, or I was there, the music department got a new building. And so they had to move everything. And then the art department inherited the other side of the building as theirs. But the music department got a contract with Steinway. And so they became a Steinway campus. And so with that, they got like a huge 90% discount on all their pianos, but they can only use Steinway pianos. Russ, stop aggressively typing. So they could only have Steinway pianos, and they had to be like within like 5 years. So basically they just abandoned all their old shit on the other side of the building. So I got like, a 1960s Steinway piano that I like wheeled across and, an upright and put in my, my studio, and just all this other like really cool shit that I just kind of like lifted. And I didn't move the Steinway across the country because why, but I ended up giving it to a friend of Jim and I's, and I believe he turned a vintage Steinway piano into a planter for plants, which
that's vocally aggressive.
Greg Lassar, if you want to.
Oh yes. Okay. All right. Now it makes sense.
I hope he enjoys all the corn and broccoli that comes out of that.
Yeah, it's Florida. What can you grow inside a fucking plant? Or inside a piano. I don't know anything.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you remember, but when Austin P did their big reboot, when they did their music building, I might have happened on an open practice room once or twice, and like, you know what? I don't think anyone's using this right now.
Looks good to me.
I'm like, what?
Those were, that was back in the day. That was statute of limitations doesn't exist on this show. We've also discovered several times.
Yeah, and I was like,
Everybody just kind of just admits their past crimes. Fuck it.
I'm like, I'm saying it might have happened. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. I'm trying to think. Like we had a lot of history, and then like I remember I moved to Nashville, and then I kind of like lost track of you because you were still in Clarksville, and then I ended up running into you at the Boundary. Is that where you were working? Did I make that up?
No, yeah. I was at the Boundary for a long time, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember like being in there as a customer, and then you were like walking out of the kitchen. I was like, okay, I hadn't seen you in probably like 2 years at that time, and then I think I lost track of you because I was moving around. And then I went to a show, like one of the Taken Under shows with Russ, like when Russ was playing, and then I ran into you there, and I haven't seen you since, basically, and that was, I don't know, 8 years ago probably. So catch me up. What have you been doing? Like, you were working in restaurants, but were you always like in Tennessee, or did you move around, or where were you?
Yeah, so you see what happened was there was a couple of different things. So the tornado hit, it destroyed the deli, the Black Horse, blah blah blah. So I was in Knoxville. After when they rebuilt everything, I came back, helped rebuild that, and then there was a couple of people that started. They wanted to start the first fine dining restaurant in Clarksville. It was called Cafe 541.
Okay,
that was just because of 541 Franklin Street or whatever. But I'd met a bunch of guys because I'm sorry, if you worked at the Black Horse and you worked everyone knew everybody at this point. Like we had switched off so many line cooks. It's like whatever, or everyone worked at both places. But anyway, 541 happened, and I wound up meeting this dude, and he was pseudo ex-military. But anyway, long story short, wound up getting a civilian job in Dayton, Ohio.
Okay.
And then he moved up there. He had a posh gig, and he was like, "Hey, man, like I got this posh gig. Why don't you come hang out in Dayton, Ohio?" And so I helped him move up there. And he was like, "Well, why don't you just stay up here?" And I was like, "Well, if I can find a job tomorrow, then I'll stay in Dayton." Which, on a dick and fart joke, I went, and there was this upscale Irish pub like right across the street from this building that we lived in. So I got a job there, and I was like, "Well, give me 2 days, and I'll be back." And I started working as a sous chef for them, and then I worked in a bunch of really nice restaurants in Dayton, Ohio.
Okay.
And was up there for a while. But at the same time, I still had friends that were like moving to Nashville and working in restaurants that were really good friends of mine. And they're like, "Hey, man, Nashville's about to blow up. You got to come down and check out these restaurants. Really good down there." Because I had kind of done that before, but I just had to get out of Tennessee for a hot minute. So I knew most of the people. So anyway, I wound up coming back and just hooking up with some, like my old bass player of mine, who's also an amazing chef. And yeah, that's how I wound up, places like the Boundary and things like that. So then I was in Nashville for a while and did a couple of the, really nicer restaurants there and a couple of country clubs. And then life happened to me, and mistakes were made. So then had to take a break, and then wound up coming back to Clarksville. So that's how I wound up back here. So
you always got home, right? Clarksville's always home. Until it's not.
Yeah.
Jim, Russ, you got questions? I got lots of questions.
Yeah. Come on, bring them on.
Jim, you have any questions? Did you hear me?
Yeah. I guess I'm curious. Earlier, you alluded to some stories about you and Lance hanging out and getting pretty drunk. So I was wondering when that was going to come up.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I was, I've drank a lot with Lance. Lance
the
used to
basement.
sneak
most
me
people
into
do.
weird places, but that's a fine. But one particular time that I think of often, because Lance did something that I had never seen before, and I wouldn't recommend it to children. But it happens. So Clarksville used to have this thing called the pub crawl, and it happened around St. Patrick's Day. And there was like, I don't know, 6 or 7 or 8 bars that every year would be a different number of bars that would participate. Mainly, most of them were downtown Clarksville, like on the main strip. And they would run like a trolley, like the Clarksville had like a trolley, and you could hop on and go to different places all around. So this particular year, I think there was like 4 or 5 bars like in the strip downtown, but they also had like 3 bars on Riverside Drive, which is, just a mile or 2 away. But like O'Charlie's was on it, the Warehouse, and then there was another bar on Riverside. So Lance, me, a few other people, we end up going to O'Charlie's, and we're there, but then the trolley stops running. So our cars are all, we're all downtown. So we like decide to walk back, but we walk from O'Charlie's to like the next bar, which is like a shady bar, pool hall. And we're drinking all these stops. And then we go to the Warehouse, and then we start taking shots at the Warehouse because Lance thought that was a good idea.
Sounds right.
Probably was. But then when we decide to walk back, we're walking from the Warehouse, and it's like kind of uphills. There is a work truck on the side of the road, like parked. And it's like a cable repairman, because he has huge spools of just like coax cable on the side, like 1,000-foot spool. And Lance walks up to it and like spins it. And I'm like, I didn't know you could do that. But then this motherfucker takes one end of it and then screams like bloody murder, like some crazy shit, and then just takes off running with the one end of the cord. So 1,000 feet are running down the street, but then he starts smacking it back and forth as like it was me and Aaron that were with you. We're running with you, and he's like slapping this cord back across, and it's hitting from cars on the left to cars on the right, just making a whip sound with Aaron and I in between. Like we're trying to duck it and jump it and like jump rope. And I'm sure it was a much more like poetic jumping jack, very skilled maneuver, but I'm sure it looked like fucking absolute terror if you were to drive by. And then the dude walks out and like starts yelling at us, like, because we're making a scene. The whole time we're like slowly walking and laughing and trying not to dry heave and throw up. But now I can't see, anytime I see a cable truck, like a truck in a neighborhood or on the side of the road, I look at it and I remember that night, but then my stomach starts hurting, because when that dude ran out, all 3 of us were like, oh shit. And we took off running, and it's probably a mile uphill, and so we all run.
It was,
we get to like the deli and the Roxy, and we're standing there, and we walk in the deli and like talking. We met up with some other people because we got separated, because that's what happens on a pub crawl. And then I remember like walking in, taking like one step in, and just my whole body was just like covered in like just sweat instantly. And I turn around, I open the door, and the deli at the time, it was in an old shop front, because I think the door was kind of inset a little bit. So like, it's probably like 4 feet in was the door, but you're still covered by the rest of the front. I remember just opening the door and maybe getting it about 20% and just yakking all over the front. And I don't know who was there, but someone was there. And then they had like the free like trade paper, like go see the
yeah.
bands in Nashville kind of thing. And whoever was there just slowly opened it up and covered up all my vomit. So yeah, that night I relive a lot, Lance. So thank you for that.
Every time you see a cable truck.
Every time I see a cable truck, it's just like.
So you don't want to take the cable though. You don't want to just like get back out and just run.
No, because since
I think
that time, I
in my
messed with
defense,
enough cable.
at some point, I thought I was like, man, we can get a lot of money for this cable.
So
you're whipping it back and forth.
I didn't really plan it out all the way.
Okay, all right.
So about how much of the cable did you unspool, do you think?
The entire roll. It was
entire
1,000
roll.
feet. Yeah, because the cable at one point was drug up
if you
the
could
road.
only understand like where we started to where we wound up. Oh, I mean, you're looking at
unwound.
A good. I mean, that was like a good fucking like almost
5,280
like
feet.
3.5, 4 city blocks of like coax cable. Like, this is a great idea. Destroying everything in my path.
Do they have the end on it and everything, or was it like
no? It's just raw cable. I would assume. I guess. I don't remember. And I heard Russ reliving his drunk story with him running into a parking meter. With you.
Yeah.
And Russ is
Jim, this was me walking when I ran into a parking meter.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was so
he wasn't going fast.
Yeah. And I was going uphill when I ran into the parking meter. So it made it so I wasn't even going as fast as I could have been going, Yeah.
So Lance lived downtown. Speaking of parking meters, Lance lived downtown, and it was like 2-3 in the morning once. We just left a bar. But all right, so Lance lived here. There's a street, and then literally on the other side was the bar. So it was not a very, very long distance. So we stumble out of the bar and we walk and then go over. But somehow in this 2.5 minute walk, it's like me, you, and Dowdy, and we're walking, and all of a sudden I just hear quarters, and I turn around, and
that's when someone actually accidentally ran into an actual parking meter. That's how that story is going down.
So this is when Russ ran into it. The quarter.
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
Completely different.
No. I physically walked into the parking meter with my face. Right in my face. And then
okay, I just thought that was impressive if you knocked all the quarters out of it.
No, I turn around, it's like fucking Sonic behind me. What happened with that parking meter? Did you hit it? Maybe?
No.
Okay. I just remember turning around and being like, oh shit, that's a ton of quarters. And what did we do? I think we went to like Kelly's Big Burger with a fucking shit ton of quarters and got hamburgers at like $4.
Oh, look, everyone's got 3 quarters now. it was so full that it exploded when I happened to walk by it.
I just thought you were like the lucky winner, and that was just it.
Yeah. Yes, I put in the I was the $1 million
the millionth quarter, and then it just explodes and gives you all the quarters.
Free parking.
I love it. Yeah. Oh man. And you brought up Brass Knuckle Entertainment earlier.
Yeah. Tell me about this. I think I was the only one that didn't know about it. So
yeah. Do you
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you remember? Maybe you can tell us what you remember, and then me and Russ can fill in the blanks, or I can fill in the blank.
Well, okay. So I remember, I mean, one day, I think me and Dowdy came up with the idea. Russ was involved in it in the very beginning, like the concept. But we were with I think like Scott and Dave and somebody they were doing a comic book, but they were like getting picked up by Image or something.
Yeah.
And we're just like, oh, let's do our own production company. And at this point, I think started it. And I had two parties under my belt, like keggers, like with like punk rock bands and like whatever at undisclosed locations. And then we went to I want to say like maybe Trotter had a house, but it was like over there, like behind the old Kroger's, and we all met there and had this huge meeting.
yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, Lance should be the president." I'm like, "What? And but yeah, so like I have the poster in the shop right now, and because I had just found it, like it was like tucked away somewhere in like my mom's basement or something, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's fucking." But I remember the biggest thing we did was we had this huge promotion. What was that mass media shop? It was over like by your house with the
Hastings
CDs and the
Hastings.
Hastings. Yeah.
Hastings, yeah. I mean, we did that huge ass Spawn event. So we had the
cool.
Spawn drag car out there. We had bands
funny
playing.
car.
Where's that picture at?
It's on Facebook. It's on Facebook.
The picture's on Facebook? Oh, I'm
Yeah.
looking for it right now.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah. So I remember we had like that one, and then I don't really remember anything after that. But those are like back in my Jägermeister days. So
Yes, the Jägermeister days. Yeah, so I had been doing like all the graphic design for a lot of raves in Nashville. At that point,
Yeah.
I mean, I been doing that for I don't know. I wasn't a long time, probably like a year and a half or so, because I don't think I was 21 at the time we were doing BKE. No, I wasn't.
you were not.
Yeah. So, you know, we had got me, you, and Dowdy were hanging out, and we were like, we should do something in Clarksville. Clarksville sucks, and we're like, well, let's. I was just like, well, I've seen a lot of people do it. I kind of know how to do this, and Lance is like, well, I know how to get alcohol and get people there, and Dowdy's like,
Yeah.
ooh.
Well, yes. So I could get all the kegs that we ever needed. And I remember me and Daddy had that A-frame house like tucked away off Riverside Drive.
Yeah, that place was cool.
And
The
then
BKE
so
headquarters.
we would have fucking parties back in there.
Yep.
That's where it's like, oh, and I remember our landline. We were like, I remember like calling 18 or Ma Bell, you know, back in the day. And so we had like had the phone with like the different lines on it.
Oh, yeah,
People,
that's
like,
right.
blowing us up all the time. And this is all like pre-interweb from the outer space kind of shit, you know.
Yeah, this was 97, 98.
Oh yeah,
99. Yeah. But I remember the first party that we decided to do, we ended up renting Kip's garage.
Yep, that's the one. And we got busted for it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You know what though? Hold on, real quick. I don't think this helped out the reason why we got busted. I think this might have had something to do with it. Rob had this truck with a microphone built into the fucking like front of it, right?
That seems right.
And it had, and I'm going around and we're yelling on this microphone the address and that there was a party down the street and we're going through the hood and it's just loud and we're driving around Clarksville, all around that area. Just with, if you guys want to come out to a party tonight, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I'm, you know, we're bringing attention to ourselves, even though we're trying to keep it hush hush, you know. But yeah.
And yeah, so we got a couple bands to play. We had Slaughter and Flood played, and then did Lowboy play, or I don't know. I think we had a couple bands play, and then we had DJs playing because I had a bunch of friends that I had come down from Nashville.
Yeah.
And it was going great, but then it got shut down by the cops because of noise. But I think they came like 3 times, so you know, whatever.
Well, yeah, they told us they won because when it started off, we were completely legit. It's like it looked like we had a bouncer that was checking IDs and shit, and then
Was that
I
Russ?
remember I couldn't talk to the cops.
Probably. Yeah.
You and Jason
Russ
were
the
like,
bouncer.
you can't talk to the. Yeah, you guys were like, you can't talk to the cops because you're not 21. So I had to basically hide when the
No,
cops
yeah,
were there.
dude, I had so many. I'm like, fuck, you're not 21. Just get in that, because there was like this tiny bathroom. Like everyone, it was like a bunker, and I was like, just get in the fucking bathroom and shut up.
Mhm.
And so then I was like, oh no, officer, the party's over. And then we just started it right back up again. And then at the end, we're like, oh fuck. But yeah.
Oh, that's when
So
I
the
had
cops
those
came and
moves.
then they left.
Like
Yeah.
3 times. They kept
times.
coming back.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I thought you said the shit was shut down. I was like, well, of course it is. I don't know what's going on. Like, you guys are insane.
But we charged like $5 and it was all you can drink. And we had like a couple kegs, but we also had just a ton
we had
of
a plethora.
alcohol
Yes, we had a
that
plethora.
somehow found its way there. I
know
think
how
on the
that happened.
flyer, it actually said 2 kegs and a bunch of stolen alcohol. But you know, because I'm all for marketing. But yeah, I just remember it getting shut down, and I remember it being a really fun event. But here's the kicker: my wife and her family literally own the 3 houses across the street there. And they've lived there their entire life. So I'm like, was it Shelly's dad? Was it Shelly's grandpa? Was it Shelly's
that's funny.
uncle who called and ratted us out?
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, because you know where the house is. Their houses are, Russ.
Oh,
They're literally
Yeah,
right there.
really.
Well, the first car wreck I was ever in was with my buddy when our freshman year in high school. He was 15, and we were down at whatever that weird music store was down on Riverside Drive. But
Mary's?
we were trying to cut through to get back to my house, and we were taking that hard turn, you know, like going up to Kip's. He lost it, and we wound up in that ditch. And so we went to the house, and we're like, hey, we're kids, help us out. And they're like, we're calling the cops. We're like, don't call the cops. So, but there was an auto shop that was like right there, like next to Kip's place.
Yep.
So we went up there and was like, man, we will give you $20 just to get this car out of the ditch. And the mechanic was cool as shit. And he came down and he was like, oh boys, this you totaled this car. we had totally bought him out this Cadillac inside of a ditch. And I was like, nah, there was no way out of it. And I was like, oh fuck. and we were like 15.
Ooh.
It happens. It happens. It makes you stronger. It makes life stronger. You know, life's pretty shitty. Might as well have some good times wrecking cars along the way. That's how I always.
I mean, you're only here once, right? You might as well make it the best of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. So Brass Knuckle Entertainment. That's kind of how it started. But you know, we did, I think, just a couple parties and did some fun stuff and would like hang out with other people like-minded, and that was kind of the idea. But it was very limited to like being in Clarksville at the time in the late '90s, and that was probably the problem.
Like even with Brass, we could only do so much, you know. And it's like, I mean, even for your age, you had the whole like rave DJ thing going, you know. Russ knew pretty much everybody else, you know, across the bridge. And I am who I am, so I'm like, fuck it, I'll do it. It's like it was usually someone coming to me like hey Lance, I got this idea. I'm like, that sounds good. I'll do it.
Do you remember going to what was the like weird dance club in Nashville that had like dance club, rock bar, dance club?
Oh, Outer Limits? No, you're talking upstairs down on Second Avenue.
I think that was the original Canner.
Music City Mix Factory.
Yeah, that's what it is now, though, isn't it?
That's what it was then. Oh, yeah.
Well, because now it's called something else. But yeah, back in the 90s, it was the weird multi-level.
Yeah,
I mean, it still is, but they switched up and whatever. I think that's how it happened. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember us being there one night, and we were like seeing bands on like the rock level, but then like either in between bands or after the bands, we like wandered up, and then there was going to be a wet t-shirt contest at like 11 o'clock.
Sounds about right.
That sounds about right.
I was like, we're going to fucking win this because I have a Brass Knuckle Entertainment t-shirt in the car. So I remember going out to the car, getting a t-shirt, coming back in, and like literally we like walked around, and there was like some dude who had a hot girlfriend who was there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like, hey, hot girlfriend, do you want to wear this t-shirt and go up here and have a wet t-shirt contest? First time I'd ever talked to this girl. Yeah, I'm down. All right. I get the t-shirt, I give it to her, and that should have been the indication that I'm a fucking moron, because she took her shirt off in front of me and changed it. And then she won the contest. She broke up with her boyfriend. And then like a week later, her and I are at IHOP at like 6 a.m. I don't remember this girl's name.
I was going to say Shelly. What?
No. This is
Whoa.
No. This is years before that. Because I was just starting to date this other girl. Just like literally just starting to date. So I had this like whole, I can't get with you because I got maybe a girlfriend. Mistake. Should have got with this girl. She took her clothes off in front of me. She was a very nice lady that I can't remember her name. But I just remember we conned her into being the BKE girl. And then she like, we took photos, not like weird photos. But like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've got pictures of that shit somewhere. I've got this old trunk with all that stuff.
The BKE girl.
Yeah, I'd love to like archive all that stuff at some point and relive the memory.
Yeah, we were at the Music City Mix Factory because we were there seeing Lowboy. They were playing downstairs, and then I remember because then we went upstairs. We didn't go to. It wasn't the rooftop bar, was it? It was the one before it, right? The dance.
Yeah,
bar.
I don't remember going on to a rooftop. Yeah.
Okay.
No, but it was like, but it was 3 stories. Though.
Yeah.
I just remember getting this girl to be the BKE girl, and then that became a thing. Like she would show up to events, with that T-shirt on, but she like modified the T-shirt, like her, cut it and sleeves off and belly out, like. It wasn't a shirt anymore. It was like a tiny piece of fabric at that point, which was okay. So the logo.
It was
Wonder how she's doing.
I wonder if she's still wearing that
3
shirt.
kids.
She's probably still wearing that shirt.
Yeah.
Longing for the days. I don't even know her name. That's the problem. Like maybe you have written it on the back, Lance, with her phone number and her address and her mother's maiden name.
Yeah, and that phone number still works, right? She's still hello.
Oh yeah,
I still have the same phone number.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You still have the same phone number.
Yeah, you're right.
So, phone numbers.
How long have you had your phone number for? 30 years?
At least
25 years?
25 years, probably.
I'm going on 25 years.
When I stopped working, it's same number when I stopped working for Nextel.
I got mine with Nextel. Yoshi gave it to me.
There you go.
All right, cool.
Yeah, Lance, you remember any other fun stuff from the BKE days, or any hijinks that we got into that you can think of? I'm sure there's plenty.
Well, I mean, I was trying when me and Roger were talking, I was just reminiscing about the skate park in my backyard.
Yeah.
When I had that half pipe and all that, and then we literally had everybody show up.
I have a story that I heard from Lance that I want to ask Rob. So Rob, Lance was telling me at that half pipe in his backyard.
Don't do that one in front of him, man.
No, I was actually going to tell this. No, let me tell the story.
He held your hand? Okay. All right, cool. So it's true. Let's go.
Yeah, no, it was 100% true. So, we've been hanging out, and I was just like skating, but just like pumping. Like that's as far as I would do because I was scared to drop in, and it wasn't like huge.
Well, and okay, so but in your defense, you had just started though.
Yes, yeah. I just started
and,
skating.
and we had like those other there were some other guys around that I forget like everyone's name, so like I can't really do that. But and you were kind of friends with them, like Jeremy McCord and like some of those other guys and stuff like that. But yeah, I remember like just trying to like, hey man, you can do this, you know. Like yeah, I mean, you eventually got it.
Yeah, I mean, but he held my hands. And that day was really kind of special, not just because you held my hands. I know I appreciate it. That was the day that Kurt Cobain died.
Oh.
Oh fuck! I did not even put that
Really
together.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
We're all sitting out, like just sitting out there. It was Jeremy.
Yeah.
And you and me, and then that guy Jay that I was hanging out with that lived.
Yeah. I couldn't remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. And you were just like, it was just like, you're just like, it's a shitty day. You're gonna do this today. Come on. I'm like, I guess today's the day. You know, if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't have dropped in. I was terrified.
Yeah.
It's like the first time I ever did it, you know, jumped off a fucking diving board. Like I stood up there for like 9 hours. I feel like I was just terrified. And then, you know, once you do it, you're okay. I mean, I'm fell down, but yeah.
Like, but not yeah. And you know, I tell a lot of the guys too, like, you know, like skateboarding, it hurts, but it literally is 90%. It's all mental, you know, and I don't care the level of skateboarder. You're only as good as you think that you're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that's really important to like just reassure. You know, I've got skaters on all different levels. You know, and I've got really young skaters that are just now starting, and then you know they just want to learn how to ollie at this point. You know. And then, you know, I've got guys that can do all kinds of shit and they get really flustered. And I'm like, well, then that means you thought about it too many times. And wrestling, I had this conversation also was like, you know, back in the day, there was like either you're a regular or you're a goofy footed, you know, there was a nose and there was a tail. And so you were really limited to tricks. But if you saw your buddy like pull some bad shit off, you'd be like, oh, I'm gonna try that trick. So then you'd go and try it. You're like, okay, well fuck this. I'm not gonna do that. And then 2 weeks later, you go back and you do it again, and you're like, fuck, I landed it. You know?
Yeah,
so like, that means I don't have to land that trick ever again.
Well, like me and Lance were saying too, it's like when you skate back in our day, you try a trick 1 or 2 times and you'd be like, nah, okay, cool. Now you're watching these dudes and they're focusing all fucking day on one trick. Yeah. And it's like you're I get it, you want to learn a trick, but have fun with the whole day too, though. Do some other shit. But like I said, it take you 2-3 weeks to get a trick down pack, you know, and these kids today are just doing it and they'll get it done in a day. Now don't get me wrong, they have a lot more tricks under their belt than I did back then, but they're doing it day by day by day. Like Lance has this cat. I talked to him about it on my podcast. But there's one cat, man, every single day for I think like 50 days now or 48 days.
Yeah,
he has done a trick every single day. He'll be like, I'm going to attempt to do blah, blah, blah. And then he'll go out there and do it and do it and then do it. And it'd be like 10 tries he shows on his video. And then he gets it and then he rolls away. He's like, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Now, I think now this guy, for as many videos as he has, he's missing something here. This needs to be, he needs to have more views on his reels than he does because this stuff is cool as shit. People watch this. There's just the markets. He needs to get into that market because this dude can blow the fuck up on these trick a day things.
Yeah. Well, and I think the same. I said I sponsored him.
Yeah, so, I saw that.
So that's my new thing. It's like I want to, you know, That's one of the, you know, like obviously all the guys I want to get exposed, and it's kind of cooler because, mind you, he's one of the younger guys, man. He's just now like turning 16, you know, he's about to get his driver's license. So then, you know, when he gets his car and he gets to be able to go out and like skate with his own friends and kind of like we did, you know, like hopping into Brandon's car and like going to Nashville, you know.
What, that kid's name's Maverick, right?
Yeah.
That's a cool name too.
Yeah.
Do you think the kids today can advance tricks quicker because of they have access to, you know, other video like content from other people, but also them being able to just fucking set their phone up and watch them try the trick and then be able to look at it at all?
Absolutely. Like when I look, if I wanted to learn how to kickflip, I would have to get like a Transworld magazine or a Thrasher and then go like that frame by frame by frame. But now I mean, there's a lot of skater tutorials now. But these guys are like, they're actually pros. Like these guys like teach at Woodward and stuff like that. I mean, that's their actual job. And they are pro skaters. But the cool thing about like someone like Maverick being like, nope, I came up with this last night today, and I'm gonna see if I can land it. And that kind of like it shows you the dynamic, and like I think there's a brand new compassion or like determination of skateboarders and how they don't know the difference between like, you know, regular like switch or any stuff like they're like, nope, I'm gonna learn it this way, and then I'm gonna do it the other way.
One thing I think about that kid Maverick that you have, and that I've been watching his videos, he dreams and eats skateboarding because he'll think of, like you say, he'll think of that trick. And then literally he'll be like, today I'm going to try a 360 body varial to nose pivot to, revert in or something. I'm just making all that up. But then he'll go and do it. And then it's like, holy shit, he did it, you know? And then he's like, and he won't just do it one time to conquer. He'll do it like one or two times afterwards and be like, all right, there you have it, guys. It's like badass.
One of the first guys I signed on, this dude Perrin. He's like, as soon as I saw him, like one of the first Sunday fun days that I had. I mean, this guy, like, he's at the, like, when he's not at work, he's out at the park. You know, I got this dude Sambo. He's the exact same way. Like, these guys are, you know, I got two other guys. Got this dude Anthony, and I got this other dude John Boy. And mind you, they're about the same age. Maverick's the youngest, but I mean, these guys, like they are just committed to go out and do shit, you know. And like sometimes I have to like talk to them, like, hey man, are you guys still having fun like skateboarding? But I think that there's a new way of thinking, especially when they come to stuff, and like these guys want to get like pro sponsored and stuff like that. So like I said, awesome. Like if I could help them in any way, and if anyone like sees this, like follow my page and follow them, you know, because seriously, they're amazing. They're shit right now, and mind you, it's bumfuck winter, and they're out there every day. If it's not raining or anything else, like when it does rain here, like they take, I've got ramps and stuff. They'll take all my ramps and go, like, we built a new parking garage in Clarksville.
Okay.
They'll go set up and skate, you know.
Oh, is that where that's at?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's in the new parking garage, and no one fucks with them, and I think that's amazing.
That's the most amazing thing. No one's fucking with them, because every time we would go out, someone
and that parking garage is right next to the police department too, and they still don't get fucked with, so that's cool.
No,
that's awesome.
Actually,
I was wondering.
Because most of the cops now are used to skate or no skaters, so, and it's not like look, they're not breaking into cars. They're not spray painting shit. They want to get the best trick. They want to have a good line. You know, they don't care about breaking into shit. They're just like, we just need soft concrete and somewhere to skate. You know.
Yeah,
So,
I think the attitude towards skateboarding shifted a lot since we were kids growing up in the 80s. And I know before that it was considered pretty countercultural and stuff. But
thank God for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater video games. I'm serious. The fucking video games, dude. Yeah. Like Tony Hawk has done so much, but the video games are what like made it almost acceptable. Like
and I kind of get it. I kind of get into that with, you know, when I talk to them, it's like even the soundtrack to Tony Hawk, you know, and I was like, you listen to Black Flag, you listen, you know, certain bands and stuff like that. But what I think is they don't really get, because they're out as a team. You know, they're all like, they all have on, you know, CCS stuff, you know, Clockwork Custom Skate stuff. Like, it looks like they're legit, you know what I'm saying? But these guys are just out doing tricks. So
that's awesome. I just thought of something that I need to remind you of in case you don't remember this, because I tell this story a lot. Many moons ago, again, I was under 21. Lance, myself, and our friend Jason decide to go to Nashville. We're hanging out. We're walking down.
Okay.
Oh, this is the thing.
This is the one. Is this the one? Yeah. Go ahead.
Did you tell him, Russ? Did you ask him or?
Yeah, but I want you to ask him.
Okay.
Yeah. You can ask.
Well, it's not really an ask. I just want to relive, at least from my vantage point, and you can fill in any blanks.
Okay.
We're walking up and down 2nd Avenue in Nashville. And so like the nice part is on, you know, this side of Broadway, and that's where like all the like country bars are and like the shops. But if you go to the other side at the time, it was a little more sketchy. And then like 328 was there. And then the eighth day was a venue that I used to throw raves at. So I knew that well. We kind of walked down there, and then we turned around and walked back down back downtown to where our car was, and there's like an old Victorian house on the left, 2-story house, and no signage whatsoever except for a neon sign in the window of Marilyn Monroe. But it was one of the like old school signs where it had the like parts would go off at different times, like to show motion. And it was Marilyn Monroe getting her dress.
I love your build up to this shit, by the way. It's amazing.
So all three of us see that, we're like, what the fuck is this place? Because it's just a Marilyn Monroe with her dress popping up, and it just keeps going. Like, it's just a repeated neon sign. We're like, what the fuck is this? And Lance is the first one, like, let's go in. And we're like, all right. So we walk in. Lance and Jason are probably just turned 21. So I was probably 19 at the time. We walk in and we open the door, and it's a foyer, and it's, you know, Victorian. It's really nice. A lot of bright lights, like very nice scene. But we open the door, and about 25 gorgeous women all sprawl out from everywhere, coming down the staircase, coming from there was a bar, and they're just all into us. And, you know, 19-year-old Rob does not know how to formulate a word at this point. And they're like, oh, welcome. How can we help you? And I don't think Jason was going to talk. And Lance just looks around and goes, do you guys serve beer here? And as soon as that was said, about 17 of the 25 women just fucking leave. There's like, these guys are fucking idiots. But then all these other ones came in, and one of them like goes and puts her arm around Lance and's like, oh, honey, we have some beer, but you have to be a customer, and like goes into like, well, what the fuck's a customer? And I'm just kind of looking around, just like taking everything in, like, am I where I think I am? And Lance is like, so what do you guys do? And the girl's like, you know, we specialize in erotic experiences.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay. And so Lance says, well, how much are these experiences? And she's like, well, they start at like, at the time, I think it was like $60 or something, like $60, but they can go up to like 100 or something like that. And Lance has the classic line, okay, we're going to go to the ATM and we'll be right back. And we leave, and all three of us are like, oh my God, we went to a fucking brothel. This is amazing. When are we going to go back? Like, that was, I think that's what we said. Like, when are we going to go back? I never went back.
Who's got Christmas money?
Exactly. So is that, do you remember, is that how it happened? Is that?
Okay. So now, yeah. Sorry. But yeah, the way that you explained it, I do remember that. And yeah, it was like the weird happy mistake.
Oh,
I kind of think I know what's about to happen, but I'm like, I don't know. I mean, fuck, seriously, it could have been just like another rave or something.
Could have just been somene's fucking house, and then we just opened the front door.
Yeah, totally. It totally could have been. But yeah, I do. Yes, I will totally confirm that story. But I'm just like, and we'll be right back.
We didn't
just to mind you, we did not partake in any of that. But I was like, we are in way over our heads. Even for me, it's like, I'm pretty, an outgoing kind of guy, shall you say? But yeah, I was like, nah.
Probably what stopped us is that she said it starts at $65, and we're like, we just spent our $17 to get to Nashville. Like, we ain't got
money.
I
was like, so technically, we got enough for a Mountain Dew and a piece of beef jerky to go home.
You got any dishes to wash? Maybe
we can work something out. You guys are going steak dinners in the back, or what's going on?
Oh man, yeah. I just remember because people were like, "Have you ever been to a brothel?" I'm like, "I've been in one, but never anything else."
Yeah. That totally happened, and I remember it now.
It was a weird night. I don't know what. I'm sure that was when we were forming BKE. Like, that may have been like,
that's probably how it started. It's like, you know what we need to do?
You know how we can make money to go back there?
Like, this is a great idea. Yeah. A barely 20-year-old and two 21-year-old, like, basically, we're gonna make great business partners. This is gonna be
I think it would have probably worked out had we been, in a larger town.
Well, yeah.
And maybe something. I don't know. I think
that could have been a lot of things, but
Lance, you've always played music. Are you still playing? Are you in bands? Are you just playing at home? Are you not playing at all? Or
I kind of play sometimes, not like I used to. I have physical attributes that don't, I've been cutting vegetables so much.
Okay.
So my guitar skills aren't what they used to be. I did just buy a new drum set, but it's vintage. But
you hit the drums harder than anyone I've ever met.
I have a buddy in town that I play with, Mike McKelvey. Sometimes I go to his house. He's got a kind of a little studio thing set up, and I'll go and lay down a couple of guitar tracks, and then just let him kind of play over it. So hopefully most of the music that I do with the guys on the team, I'm gonna start just putting my music on top of that, just for that. But yeah, I mean, I still love to play, but I can't play like I used to. I'm just I let my body tell me what to do now. It's like, okay, I want to play today, or it's like, okay, don't do it. I get all cramped up and bad shoulder and all that stuff. And that's the sad story. That's just being an old
life.
Goddamn crust punk fucking skateboarder who worked in goddamn the industry for too long, and I was like, ugh, my everything hurts every day. If the weather's bad and it's cold outside, I'm like, I need me one of them aspirins.
Man, the joint pain. No one told you about joint pain. I just feel
and that's what I'm so pissed. Like, fuck. It's like like I had great grandmothers and grandmothers and grandfathers. They're like, they don't tell you, just like somewhere, and like you just start going like this in your 40s. I'm like, oh, everything hurts.
Stupid. Sometimes you might get
my hand.
kidney stones out of nowhere.
Yeah,
like things just fucking happen in your 40s, and it's stupid. So I don't know if you know, when I left Clarksville, we moved to Florida, and I went to grad school in Florida, and then came out here and been here for 12 years. But when I moved from Florida to Colorado, I was just in so much pain. Like, just my body hurt all the time, and just like my hands were just like cracking and bleeding, and like I just felt shitty. So I ended up going to the doctor, and I was like, look, man, my hands are all fucked up. Like, something's wrong with me. He's like, yeah, you need to use lotion. I was like, what? He's like, you have to use lotion.
But I jerk off every day.
I was like, I've never used lotion a day in my life. He's like, where have you lived? And I was like, Tennessee and Florida and some other places, but all humid places. He's like, that doesn't work in Colorado. You have to go get lotion. And sure enough, that's all I needed. But I never even knew that like that was why people put lotion on. Like, I don't use lotion, so.
No, I don't either. That and it creeps me out, even if I have to do it, or people who just put lotion on and like want to go shake your hand. I'm like, get it off.
Oh, I hate the feeling of lotion and stuff like that. Ugh.
No,
that means you jerk off a lot too, though. I just met you. I shouldn't be telling jokes.
Hey,
spot on. By the way. Like,
but what I'm saying is like, what I did notice, it's like, so they say like, every 7 years, like your everything changes, like, your palate, your like, all the bullshit. And when I moved to Kentucky for the first time, because I was in Lexington and played in a bunch of bands up there.
La Bamba, burritos the size of your head.
Yeah, but that's not where that was at. But I would come back to Tennessee, and then I would have problems in Tennessee. Then I go back to Kentucky, and I could breathe. But so long story, when I wound up moving to Ohio, I moved like when I first moved to Dayton, Ohio, it was around like, I don't know, like August or something, and I was like, whoo, and like I was cool. But when I moved back to Tennessee, now like whenever the weather changes, or it like I'm a human barometer now, but it's like I'm a T-Rex.
You wake up in the morning and you're like, I'm not going outside. It's going to be cold.
Exactly.
Like that old witch. I like it.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's right. La Bamba's was in Louisville, not in Lexington.
I'm like,
La Bamba.
I'd always go to Louisville, but then I'd also go to Lexington for stuff. And so there was something there that I would always go to that was, I try to find
Ear Ecstasy.
There you go.
Oh, Ear Ecstasy.
Yes, I have lots of.
And which, by the way, my girlfriend lives there and actually found me an old school sticker because they're not open anymore, man.
I was about to say, I still have a bunch of those stickers still.
Yeah.
Because I went through the better part of 40 years of my life collecting and hoarding stickers, but never sticking them anywhere. And so
that's every skater does that.
Exactly.
Nope. This is my favorite sticker. Nope. This is my favorite sticker. And then
Shelly,
we have packets of stickers.
Yeah.
So Shelly took all my stickers and put them in like fucking like flip books or something, like scrapbooks, so I can see them, so I can go through them and be like, that would look really good on my computer. So I don't know. I pulled out like a 25-year-old Warp Records sticker and put it on like something. And I was so proud. And I like walked into work one day and like pulled out my laptop and put it on. And then I remember like, because it's like a Warp Records and I think it had an ant on it. I like pull it up and I'm like, yeah, getting really excited for somebody to comment on my sticker. And then someone goes, I think something just fell off your laptop. Like it just had been 25 years, so it just fell right off. I'm like,
it's just disintegrating.
Yeah. But I've got some really choice stickers, but I have a bunch of Ear Ecstasy stickers because we used to go there all the time because what 2 hours or something.
Well, my guilty pleasure is now that I own a skate shop, I can get any sticker or any T-shirt that I want. Nice. So I'm like, it's like I'm kind of revamping on all my stickers and a whole bunch of really badass T-shirts. Like, what? I don't have to go. What? I could order this. It's like, yeah. So that like that's the best worst thing about my situation.
I'm about to say, I think it's an amazing situation, but I'd be out of business real quick because I'm like, I would buy everything.
I'm this close. I am this close for my gluttony. So I really got to start selling some shit and stuff around here. But yeah, man, I'm telling you, it's one of the best things I've ever done in my life, man. I've never felt better about it,
That's awesome, man. I'm so happy for you, dude. Like when I found out you opened a skate shop, I was like, that's awesome. That's perfect. Like Clarksville needs it. I like that you're taking the aspect of like, hey, this is a place for you guys. Come hang out, make it what you want, because
we never had that.
But at the same time, I think if I was an 17, 18-year-old kid, 16-year-old kid, I don't necessarily want someone to tell me how it needs to be. Just be like, hey, I'll show you what it was like, or I'll show you some cool stuff, but let's make it what you want. I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, you're completely anti-corporate. You're not like the Zoomies. I heard you talking about Zoomies and which Zoomies in America and Zoomies in Canada, two way different things.
I'm
Zoomies,
sure. I know it is.
It's a different company. Zoomies in Canada is a drug delivery service, and they deliver everything.
Spelled the same?
Maybe it's OOMIES. But like, yeah, you need some DMT delivered, they got you. You need LSD, doesn't matter. They will deliver it to your house in Canada.
They got you.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you don't have that corporate approach. No offense, Lance, but the word corporate and you don't really go together. And I think that's a beautiful
he was
thing.
the president of a company, though.
Which one?
The Brass Knuckle Entertainment.
Yeah, and if you think that was a company,
I just learned about it.
No,
tonight.
that was a bunch of guys that like I got free booze and we partied, man. Like that we had to do. I think we had to do that for legal purposes, and I think that was like the first LLC ever signed on for. And I was like,
I think it was smart to do.
But who paid taxes on that shit? I have no idea.
We didn't pay taxes because we didn't have any income.
Exactly.
So it didn't matter. No, well, the reason you form an LLC before you do that shit is if someone died, guess what? They're not suing you. They're suing this company that we have just dissolved. Mm-hmm. At least that's how I always understood it. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I'm not a lawyer. But my lawyer, who wasn't a lawyer then, is the one that told me, and now he's a lawyer and he can get you off. So if you do any crimes, Lance, we have a good lawyer. I can recommend it. I'm not saying that you're going to do crimes, but just in case.
But if you want to, there's a possibility. Rob knows.
I'm just saying, like the worst thing you could ever tell me, and you're gonna ask Russ and Rob, like the worst you can tell me is like, hey Lance, don't do that.
Yeah, watch. Then you're like,
because I'm going to be. I will be
Hold my
like,
beer.
I'm like, hold my beer, and I'll fucking do it. Like,
It's definitely true. It's definitely true.
Don't tell Lance no.
All right, Lance, you got the shop up. What's next? What's next? What's going on next? You got it up. You getting more people in. You got forming a team. What else you got on the docket? Anything exciting that you can share? I mean, I'm sure there's some top secrets.
Yeah. Well, now, like for me, really, and we can talk about this later. For me, it's branding. You know, like I want to get the Clockwork name out there. You know, I want the guys. You know, like I've got T-shirts, I got stickers, blah blah blah. You know how it starts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so now it's more like branding and getting more people into the shop. Like, hey man, like I want that graphic. Hey, I want that T-shirt. What I have done, which I can tell you, is I got with a bunch of local artists in town.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a bunch of like just blank decks.
Oh, nice.
And I gave them to local artists and gave them clock pieces. I was like, turn this into a clock, you know? And I'm like, whatever you want to do, it's your graphic, whatever. Just you know, build a clock out of the skateboard. And hopefully like putting that into my shop, their shops, and then actually going like true local, because I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to go through the local paper or bullshit. There's a lot of really cool shops in Clarksville right now that I want to be affiliated with.
Oh, nice.
And I just want to be like, here, man, just like if you give me your T-shirt, I'll sell it at my shop. If you sell my T-shirt at your shop. And,
nice.
and I don't like, and I've done that with so I'm in with Clarksville Roller Derby.
Okay.
There's a barbershop that's it's literally across the parking lot from me, and it's called Union Street. Super cool dudes, and most of them skate anyway.
Oh, nice.
So I sell their T-shirts in here. There's we got the vinyl shop. There's Mom and Dad's music store. I want to get in with them. And
that's Lloyd's, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Rob, what was the name of that thing that AIGA used to do with all the skate decks?
It started with the word board.
Yeah, it was kind of a cool thing where they had artists do the boards and then they do a big show, and it would get Bordello. Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Board LO. Yeah.
But
well,
something like that could be cool.
That's what I'm hoping. Like once I get them all in and can look at them, I want to kind of put them into a spot where, you know, they can all be seen.
Yeah.
You know, like, because I'd rather support the local artist community. You know, and which, you know, as far as skateboarding, that's what it's about. You know.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to the whole DIY thing. You know, like my only thing was like, it's just got to say Clockwork somewhere on there. And then other than that, man, it's yours. Like I didn't tell like, okay, I want a skull and I want, you know, like, no, do your own thing. And
well, you could potentially do like a big show where, you know, maybe you take like a certain percentage of it, but the artist takes the majority of it. And
that's I already have that set up. So that's what I was getting to.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. So like, you know, but thank you for asking me, because I was gonna probably forget to talk about that. But yeah, that's my biggest thing, is just trying to get mostly like all the local artists like involved in it. You know, regardless of anything else, it's the same kind of culture. Like the kids who get tattoos, the kids that are into, you know, art, the kids that, you know, are still going to be into skateboarding, you know, or are they going to be musicians, you know? So it's a lot easier, I think. Like I said, just to go old school DIY punk rock, you know, I know like a lot of other businesses rely on some other shit, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm a skate shop. If I do that, I'm gonna fucking puss out, and I would never be fucking punk rock.
I don't think you're gonna
Like
get
I'm
your
not gonna,
audience
I'm
that
not like,
way.
like I'm not gonna lose that aspect of it.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to like promote it to be like,
Mhm.
hey, if this is what you want to do, go do it, and I've got your back to go
Mhm.
do it. You know, like I want to be as I want to keep it as independent as possible,
Mhm.
and to promote like as many artists as I can in the process. And then yeah, like my main goal is eventually, hopefully, especially around the springtime, to do like just a whole like bigger show.
That's
So
awesome.
they can
Yeah.
all be like displayed at the same time and be like, this is what it's about, you know.
Yeah, bring in a
'Cause even-
band, keep the shop open, have some refreshments and stuff.
Oh, which we do. Like I
Yeah.
have snacks for all the kids like all the time. So
Nice.
like, always have waters and soda pops, and we have like if it's Sunday fun days, like order pizzas in and like
Yeah.
let's just hang out and watch skate videos, and
Cool.
that's
That's
usually what
awesome.
we do.
Very cool. I hope I make it to Clarksville in the next, I'm moving to Florida, so we're moving, so we'll go through Tennessee. So maybe I'll swing by on my way.
Well, that would be very nice of you.
Yeah, no, I'd love to see the shop. I always say I want to get back to Clarksville. How many times have I told Russ, I'm like, hey, I'm thinking about coming back for like a weekend, and then I'm like, I like talk myself out of it. I don't know. It's
Because
weird.
Russ is there.
No,
That's why.
it's super strange that my parents don't live there anymore.
Oh, yeah.
And then my parents' house is someone else's house, and I have like a weird like mental block on the whole city because of that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just old and stupid. So, but yeah, Clarksville's always there. I'm so glad that you decided to come on the show though and talk about this skate shop, because it makes me excited for Clarksville and people growing up there, because there wasn't a lot of opportunities for anything off the beaten path, skateboarding, any sort of like alternative to alternative music. Like I always liked alternative music, but I really got into, industrial and a lot of, Wax Trax records, and you ain't finding that in Clarksville at all.
No,
At least at the time. So
but I mean, but even as far like some of the old school skaters, like my old school friends still stop by, and hang out and skate on Sundays,
that's awesome.
So like I mean, 40s,
Well,
hanging out with kids, and like
if I come on a Sunday, you get to help me drop in a ramp for old time's sake.
yeah, we will do that. I got a really nice quarter pipe for you, man.
Nice. I'm excited. I'll probably break my head open and then have to.
Oh,
go to
that's
the
hey,
hospital.
no, that's cool. I sell helmets.
Nice.
While
Yeah.
we're just pitching shit for the like, I got helmets. Hey, you don't want to skate? I got rollers. Make you a derby dude.
So Shelly, my wife, and her friend found, this is, I don't know, a couple years ago at this point, I think, they found that this bar was doing a pop-up roller skating event. And it's like a big, like a big bar with like 4 different room kind of thing. But they did a pop-up roller skating event in the bar where you go, you rent your skates, you skate around a night, blah, 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 blah. But it was Golden Girls themed. And so they were like, we're going. And I was like, I really don't want to go roller skating. I'm old. Like, this is not gonna be fun.
Thank you for being a friend.
Exactly.
It's my
Everybody
favorite
dressed-
show, and I own the T-shirt and
There
the
you go.
coffee mug.
All right. Well,
I
I've seen
love the
every
Golden
episode.
Girls.
Good. And so does my wife. But we go. I'm pretty fucking good on the roller skating. Like pulled it back to 6th grade.
Famous last words of everyone that puts on a pair of roller skates.
No, man, I was good.
I'm not saying you weren't, but
I don't worry. I broke my fucking kneecap this year.
And your hand.
Yeah,
my hand.
and my hand. Yeah.
And my hand. But I broke my kneecap because my pants fell down. I'm not shitting you. Literally, I'm on the phone in my basement talking to someone. I was carrying something, so I had something in my hand. and I don't know, I've lost like 60 pounds just because of life. And so I needed new pants, but my jeans and my belt fell down, and I was walking and I literally tripped and I fell on the tile floor, and I fucking cracked my kneecap. So stupid. Not skateboarding, not doing anything awesome, just being an old dude. So I would rather have a better story.
Oh man, dude, I want to be like punk rock and hardcore as shit, and be like, I can make up a really cool story, but I think I had like a bad dream one night, and technically I rolled out of my bed.
Okay.
But I cracked my shoulder blade.
Ooh.
Well, which
Like
I didn't know.
floor?
Yes, I mean, I was like,
Oh.
boom, and it's like I for some reason I had stood up in bed and just like I was trying to get out of bed, and then just like I hit so hard that I remember puking and then on the floor, and then crawling back into bed. And so when I woke up, my shoulder, I was totally like, oh,
that sounds terrible.
So then I had to I went into one of those little ER places that they have, and they're even like, holy shit, what is wrong with you? Like, no one breaks their shoulder blade. And I was like, well, I fucking did. And then like, well, there's nothing we can really do for you. And I was like, all right, fuck you. So I went home, and I wound up, they wouldn't even put my shoulder back into place. So I went and I had this chair, and I just went and slammed it back down, popped it back into place. But
Mel Gibson, like,
I learned it from Mel Gibson.
okay.
Lethal Weapon? Was that Lethal
Yeah.
Yep.
He's like, oh.
Just do it.
I think that's where I learned that was possible.
Yeah.
Is it actually possible? I mean, it is, but
No, I totally did it.
He would dislocate it and then relocate it and dislocate it. I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's supposed to work that way, but okay.
Yeah, that's not how it works. But I mean, I did when it happened. I puked, and then when I put it back in, I peed a little bit when that happened. That's how bad it hurt.
Yeah, I don't imagine that you'd want to do it without peeing a little bit. All right, Lance. So we have a tradition on this show where we give out a secret word. And the secret word is to identify that people have been listening. So if somebody's like, oh, I listened to you on the podcast, and you'd be like, what was the secret word? And so we've been doing that since the beginning, but now we allow our guests to pick the secret word. So you're on the spot. You can pick anything you want. It can be a word. It can be a phrase. It can be, I don't know, your phone number if you wanted. So yeah, that's a new one. That's a new one. Throwing the phone number out there. So you can pick the secret word, and then that is the identifier for people who have listened. So do you have anything that comes to mind?
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna keep it back. I'm doing a 931 local.
931 local. All right.
I saw the shirts.
Yeah. So
Shirts.
so that's my
awesome.
new. So yeah, they can come down and get one.
Nice. I remember when we went from 615 to 931, it felt weird, but now it feels right. So
Yeah, I know. It's totally freaks me out.
yeah. Well, Lance, this has been awesome catching up. You're welcome back on the show anytime. That's one of the things with this show. We have people on every week, and we invite people to come back. So don't be a stranger. It's been very awesome catching up with you for sure.
No, absolutely. I mean, and like I mean, I'd love to come back in just to hang out with you guys, and
Yeah.
One just a bullshit about old school. I'm sure I'll come up with more stories about me, you, and Russ, but yeah, just to promote the shop and everyone that's doing everything right now, and just to keep everybody kind of informed. Like, I know you guys are like not in Tennessee, but it reaches out to a lot of people, and then so I mean, God forbid you're ever in Clarksville, Tennessee, stop by the shop, get a sticker,
I'm definitely coming next time I'm in Clarksville, or I'm sending my wife for sure.
Which you don't do. So
I'm moving back across country, and so it's going to be a lot closer. And you know, Shelly's folks live there, so we'll come. It's just
You remind me of my favorite stepdad.
Your favorite stepdad?
Yeah, the one we always call Uncle Jimmy, which never actually married my mom, but
Okay.
just kind of shows up sporadically when he's going through town.
All right. I mean,
No,
could be worse.
One, that was a harsh joke, but
Oh, I got it. I got the joke.
I picked up on it, and I was like, it could be worse.
How come he only shows up when Daddy's gone?
I know.
Oh!
Dad's out of town. Well, no, this has been a real treat. I really liked catching up with you, and we'll definitely do it again. So.
No, dude, it's been great. I love how much Jim was involved in this whole thing.
It's good.
Hey, I'm sick, but I'm like trying.
Jim's
He's like,
muscling through.
Robert Tussin is my friend right now. It's
Yeah.
like, you have 4 heads, and I'm pretty sure I'm talking to your mom right now.
No, man, Jim's a sleeper. He's gonna come up tomorrow and be like, "So Lance was saying this. Do you think blah 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 blah?" Trust me.
Yeah.
But no, you'll have to come back on. Toby will be back around. He's, I don't know.
What do you mean? I'm right
also
here.
sick.
Yeah, he's right there. It just
Right
looks
here.
like he looks like Russ, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
That's about.
Very similar. But thanks for coming on, and yeah, definitely come back.
Yeah.
And
Nice meeting you,
Awesome.
Lance.
Yeah, anytime, man. And I guess I'll probably hit you. Hopefully, we can do this. Like a monthly thing or something like that. You know.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Cool.
Kick it.
Yeah, I love you guys. I think what you guys are doing is great, and like I said, DIY, man. Let's support each other, and I hope you get a lot of views and likes. I don't know if anyone's gonna like our brothel stories or.
You never.
Oh
know.
no,
That's the best part.
That
That might be the best part. I have no.
That's a
idea.
clip.
Yeah,
That's a clip.
That's
right
where the
there.
spike in views will go up.
Oh, like what? There were prostitutes.
Everybody likes a good prostitute story. So, and we'll link your Instagram so everybody can check out Clockwork Custom Skates and come see you in Clarksville, Tennessee. Make the drive from Nashville. We got a lot of Nashville viewers.
Yeah.
They can make that drive.
Oh, please do. It's kind of ironic because, like, dude, I've got a lot of guys from just the outside, Dixon, Davidson.
Oh, nice.
Springfield. Like, I got a lot of guys coming in, just calling me up, and then more like, when are you guys open? So there's a lot of other skaters that are outside of Nashville because Nashville is expanding so much.
Yeah, Clarksville is
In
like
between,
a suburb.
in between
of Nashville,
Clarksville and Nashville, you got all those little things. So
very cool.
I got a lot of skaters coming in. So
good. And then make them listen to the podcast, and then we'll all
that's gonna be my new thing. So
nice. Well, I'll send you a bunch of stickers and shit. We got all sorts of dumb shit.
Oh yeah, man. We'll trade merch, man.
We can do that. Awesome. Well, Lance, good catching up with you, and we will see you soon.
Absolutely.
All right. Peace out.
All right, love.